Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because today's breaking news is absolutely jaw-dropping, history-making, and potentially franchise-altering. We're talking about one of the most iconic figures in both football history and Dallas Cowboys lore, stepping back into the NFL spotlight in the most unexpected way. I'm talking about none other than Deion Coach Prime Sanders, the NFL Hall of Famer, college football transformer, and former Cowboys superstar, who, as of what's being reported and echoed across sports media circles, has allegedly been signed by the Dallas Cowboys to take over as head coach, with none other than Jerry Jones himself confirming the move behind closed doors. Now, if you're hearing this and thinking, wait, what? You're not alone. This news has sent shockwaves not just through Cowboys Nation, but the entire NFL universe. People are texting, tweeting, reacting. The media is ablaze with reactions ranging from disbelief to euphoria. So, what exactly is happening and what does it mean? Let's break this down because it's not just like some random headline. There's been smoke surrounding this story for weeks now. Whispers about the Cowboys searching for something bold, something disruptive, something different to finally shake off the postseason curse that has haunted them for decades. And who better than Coach Prime, a man who has never done anything the traditional way, to step into the biggest, boldest football brand in the world and reshape it from the inside out. Deion Sanders is not just a coach, he's a walking, talking, swagger-filled revolution. He took Jackson State from obscurity to relevance. He took a struggling Colorado program and, practically overnight, turned it into the most talked about team in college football. Now imagine what he could do with the resources, the talent, and the brand power of the Dallas Cowboys. And let's not forget, Deion is no stranger to this franchise. He won a Super Bowl with the Cowboys. He brought flair, dominance, and unmatched playmaking to the defensive backfield. He was the ultimate showman in a city that thrives on spectacle. His ties to Jerry Jones go back decades. This isn't just a coaching hire. This is a reunion of legacy and ambition. And from what's being said, Jerry made the call personally. After the Cowboys parted ways with Mike McCarthy, who, despite some regular season success, couldn't get over the hump in the playoffs, Jones apparently knew he had to go big. He needed a name that could electrify the locker room, reignite the fan base, and command respect from players instantly. There's only one name in the football world that checks all those boxes: Deion Sanders. Now, here's where it gets even crazier. From the reports being circulated and reactions from insiders who claim to have knowledge of the talks, this wasn't a typical interview process. It wasn't Deion sending in a resume and doing a PowerPoint presentation. This was Jerry Jones making a bold, emotional decision based on instinct, charisma, and vision, which is exactly how Jerry has always operated when it comes to high-stakes moves. It said that the moment McCarthy was out, Jones picked up the phone and called Coach Prime. And apparently that conversation lit a spark. Deion, still under contract at Colorado and doing his thing with the Buffs, reportedly told people close to him that while he wasn't looking to leave, the opportunity to coach the Cowboys was the one scenario he'd always said he'd consider, especially now with his sons nearing the NFL. And think about that for a second. What if this move isn't just about Deion, but a long-term vision that includes Shedeur Sanders as the future quarterback of the Cowboys? If you follow the Sanders family closely, you know Deion has been preparing his sons for greatness for years. Shedeur has been climbing the draft boards and is seen as a potential franchise quarterback. Shiloh, his other son, is a defensive playmaker. Could this be a master plan in motion? Coach Prime leading America's team, flanked by his own bloodline, ushering in a new era of Cowboys football? The implications are enormous, but let's talk about the kind of energy this would bring to the locker room. Under McCarthy, there were always questions about motivation, about culture, about a lack of killer instinct. So that's not a problem with Coach Prime. He demands excellence. He breathes confidence. He walks into every room like he owns it, and he gets his players to believe they're part of something bigger than football. At Jackson State, he didn't just coach, he inspired. He got national attention for an HBCU program. At Colorado, he brought in top recruits, turned the program around, sold out stadiums, and even turned casual fans into prime believers. Now, imagine him walking into AT&T Stadium, the biggest, flashiest football venue in the world, wearing a gold chain and cowboy hat, addressing the Cowboys in his first meeting and saying, "We come in." That alone would be a viral moment before he even coached a snap. And let's not forget the Cowboys defense. What would Coach Prime do with Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, and that stacked defensive unit? The swagger would be off the charts. The energy on game day would be different. This is a man who revolutionized the cornerback position. He's the greatest to ever do it. You think the young DBS in Dallas wouldn't run through a wall for him? Of course they would. But what about the offense? That's where questions start to arise. Would Deion bring in his own offensive coordinator from the college ranks? Would he try to install a completely new system or keep pieces from the previous staff? Would Dak Prescott fit his vision? Or would this be the moment the Cowboys look to move on and potentially draft Shador or another young quarterback? There are so many variables in play here. This wouldn't just be a coaching change, it would be a philosophical overhaul, a cultural earthquake. And while many are hyped, let's be real, there are doubters too. There are analysts and insiders who think this move would be a massive risk, that Deion hasn't coached in the NFL, that his style, which works in college with young, hungry players, might not translate to a league full of millionaires and egos, that he might clash with veterans or struggle with the X's and O's at the pro level. And of course, there's Jerry Jones himself, known for his strong influence and desire to be involved in every football decision. Can two alphas like Jerry and Prime really share the spotlight? Or would that relationship blow up the minute something goes wrong? Those are fair concerns, and they're why some believe this may not be a slam dunk. But here's my take. Sometimes in sports, especially with a team as high profile as the Cowboys, you need to swing for the fences. You need to make a move that gets people talking, that energizes the brand, that changes the conversation. Because let's face it, Dallas has been stuck in a cycle. Good, but not great. Competitive, but not dominant. Always hyped, never finished. Maybe Deion is exactly the kind of disruption they need. He's a winner, he's magnetic, he holds everyone accountable, and most importantly, he believes that with every fiber of his being that greatness is not just possible, it's expected. That's what the Cowboys have been missing. Now, as of now, we still don't have an official press conference, no formal statement from the Cowboys organization, and nothing from Deion himself on social media. But you better believe that if this deal is real and it gets officially announced, it will be one of the most watched, most polarizing coaching unveilings in NFL history. The fan reactions are going to be wild. You'll have Cowboys faithful who are over the moon, ready to embrace Primetime 2.0, and you'll have skeptics calling it a media stunt or a flashy gimmick, but love it or hate it, no one can deny one thing. Deion Sanders coaching the Dallas Cowboys would instantly become the most compelling story in all of sports. Every game would be primetime. Every press conference would go viral. Every decision would be scrutinized, and Coach Prime wouldn't have it any other way. He's built for this spotlight. He welcomes it. He thrives in it. So as we sit here today, reacting to this potentially groundbreaking news, I want to know what you think. Is this the bold move Dallas needs, or is it too risky? Can Deion bring a ring back to Dallas, or is this just hype with no substance? Because whether this becomes official or fizzles out as just another wild offseason rumor, one thing is clear. The name Deion Sanders is now firmly back in the NFL conversation, and if the Cowboys truly pulled this off, it may go down as one of the most electric coaching hires in league history. Smash that like button if you're fired up. Drop a comment with your take. Should Deion take the job? Would you rather stick with the traditional NFL mind or embrace the revolution that is Coach Prime? And don't forget to subscribe for updates. Because if this becomes official, we'll be covering every second of it, from pressers to preseason, from draft to kickoff. This could be the start of a brand new era in Big D, and you won't want to miss a moment. Until next time, stay tuned. Cowboys Nation, things just got prime time.